Hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a great one there today. So this is lesson four of the last lesson in between 1 and 4. So, in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the actual free strategy, trained strategy, and putting on a trade. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of stuff here that I'm going to talk about today. So, the very first thing then is going to be a bonus being the actual two indicators for the trend strategy. Okay, so the second thing is then we're going to have an advanced bonus too. All right, so what we will be two time frames, trend time frame being the 5 minute time frame, and then the actual 1 minute entry being the actual entry time frame. Okay, but we're going to add something more special, guys, for this, as this is going to be a really super advanced actually trend strategy. So we're going to have actually bonus 3 and bonus 4 thrown in as well. Yeah, so stay tuned for that, and we'll go into all that. And it really is a great strategy, guys. So for a beginner, there's a little bit of work in it, but once you see it all being done in front of you, it's really powerful. So I hope you all have a lot of fun with that, and getting back to me, leaving all your comments a bit later after this video when you try it out, because it's really good. Yeah, so the next thing then is how to put on a buy or sell the market, putting on a trade. So that's the next thing, right? And then the final thing we're going to do then is actually downloading an EA or an expert advisor to your data folder on the MT4 platform. Okay, so let's get stuck into it, guys. Okay, so let's go on to the MT4 platform. Okay then, so here's the actual, so like from the previous video, this is the actual raw chart saved onto our profile. Okay, so let's open up the actual first one here, being the actual euro dollar, right? So we're on the 5 minutes, so we're going to add these two indicators. Okay, so we go into the navigator, we come down to trend, and we're going to add in the actual moving average. So that will be the 20 simple moving average. Okay, so that's the first indicator, right? The next indicator then we're going for is an oscillator. So we're going to go for the actual stochastics. Yeah, okay, so I've added another value here. So normally it has a 20 and an 80, and then I have a 50 as well. I'll explain that in a second. So let's click that on. So that's on now as well. This is the actual 50 here. Is another added advanced teach to this strategy. Okay, and I'll explain that to you in a moment. So, okay, so what happens here then is, what we're looking for then is the actual, once price is underneath the actual moving average, 20 moving average, we're looking for a sell opportunity, and once price is over it, we're looking for a buy. And the same then on the actual stochastic. So let's zoom in a little bit here and see, just to show you for an example, right? So if we put this down, say here, so we have price actually is over the actual 20 moving average, and we have price then, which is on the stochastics, is on the actually come up from the actual 20, and then it's over the actual 50 here as well. So this is an opportunity now to actually buy. Yeah, okay, so that's pretty much what that is, right? But then once you go on to the actual 1 minute, we need the actual stochastics. We need the actual stochastic. Now this is the actual 5 minute, but once you come down to the 1 minute, it looks that little bit different, right? So let's go back into the 5 minute. This is the 5 minute here. Okay, let's put a horizontal, and now let's go into the 1 minute. Okay, so we're in the 1 minute, right? So price would have been here on the 5 minutes. So, and this would have been the actual close of the 5 minute candle here. Let's close of the 5 minute, or the opening of the 5 minute candle was actually here, of the new 5 minute candle. Okay, Okay, so this was the actual, you can see here, it was 1540 was the actual close of that candle. You open up the new candle, then would be 1545, right? So let's go on to the 1 minute. So we're looking for 1545, which is here, okay? So 1545, which is here. And we need actual price on the stochastics to come down and to come back up here, okay? So price on the 5 minute was here, and now on the 1 minute we're looking for the actual, the new candle like this. Once we have the actual stochastics lining up and it's over the 50, we are looking at this entry here, right? So that would have been the entry right there. So let's zoom back out to the 5 minute, and you can see here then this would have been the actual entry on that for a buy on the actual trend system. Okay, so let's go back in and explain these other two bonuses that I'm going to show in. So how you can identify the trend and a change of trend, and how we're going to be able to mark that as well as basically with this strategy, and making this a really super strategy to play with, because it's very powerful. Okay, so let's go on to the actual, we're going to go on to here, and we're going to talk about at this point here. Okay, so basically we can see here, there's a trend line I'm putting in here, okay, and this was the previous actually bearish move down here. Okay, now let's actually zoom in, so we can see actually price then came down, hit that once and hit it a second time, and now it's after breaking it here. Yeah, any actual a trend line, is always good to have at least a minimum of 3 good touches like that before the actual price actually is broken on the actual any type, either a bearish or a bullish trend line. Okay, so at this point now we can see here that we have prices breaking it here, okay, and it's broken the 20 as well, and now it's actually coming up on the actual stochastics as well. So all of these indicators are lining up. Okay, so to clarify that this trend is, this is the earliest point right here. Okay, this is the earliest point we can see right here, this point, yeah, that this is going to be quite possibly a actually change of market direction, right? And the second thing that we need to clarify this is that this point here, which is the fourth bonus I'm putting in with this, actually this here is actually the lower high here, okay, and this is the lows, the lower low here. Okay, so we're going to draw in another line here. This is the lower low. So now what we have now basically is we're looking for price to break this lower high here. Okay, so price has broken it here, right? So now the next thing then for this strategy, for the first move, or for the first entry of this change of direction of market direction, being from the bearish and now into the bulls, what we're going to put down is we're looking for price to come down and price to come back over this actually 20 moving average and finish over that here. Okay, so that would have been at this point here. Okay, and then the next 5 minute opening candle is exactly the strategy giving us the AOK for the entry, right? So we're after clarifying several things here now at this point. Okay, so we have the actual market direction being broken here. Market price has broken the actual lower high, so that's that here, and then we have a pullback, and now we have the actual 20 moving average with a candle finishing over that on the 5 minute being the trend time frame, and all the actual other indicators lining up like the stochastics as well. So now let's go into the actual 1 minute. So in the 1 minute we have actually price which is up on the 80% of the stochastic, so that's not valid, right? Okay, so we need price to come back down and to come back up to the 50 before that actually is valid entry. Yeah, okay, so we can see here, if we just zoom in a little bit more, so we can see here price here at this point is valid here. Okay, so this is the actual entry that we would have had on the actual the 1 minute entry time frame, right? Okay, and if we went for a stop down here being say 13 pips, and we're going, oh, what is that? Yes, that's around 13 pips, right? And we're going for a 2-to-1, right? So let's put our stop down here, and let's change the color. Let's change that vertical line to red, just for our stop, and then we were going for a 2-to-1 up here. Okay, and we just change that to a green. Okay, so you can see the first one has been hit. Okay, so there's actually our first trade up there. Okay, so let's mark that. Okay, so that's our first trade being done. Okay, now let's go back to the 5 minute. So we're looking for the next entry for the 5 minute. So the next entry on that would be here, right? So the opening of the next candle. So let's zoom in. So that's not over the actual, so we need to go to the next candle because it's not over the 50 correctly yet. Okay, so now the opening of this candle is correct, right? Okay, so let's go into, we'll just bring these down out of the way for the minute. Okay, so now we have the actual, let's zoom out for a second actually, right? So we can see it here. Okay, zoom out again. Okay, so this is our second opportunity we have here on this entering in for a buy. Okay, so everything is lining up, right? And we're still in the actual since price now is still in this actually range here, right? But it's in the actual for a second move, right? So what we're going to do is just going to zoom in, so we can see the big picture, right, in the 5 minute. So we just zoom in again, and now as we have our second opportunity here at the open of this candle here being at 920, so we'll bring this actually line up to here. Okay, to clarify that, now let's go into the actual, we'll go into the 1 minute. So the 1 minute now it's up high, so we have to wait for the stochastics to come back down and to come back up here again for our entry, right? So the entry would have been the next candle, the opening of this candle here. Okay, so our entry would be at this point here. Okay, so we're going to have, say, a let's zoom out here again actually. So if we're looking at the last swing down here, okay, like this, right, this is like a 90, or it's like, say, 100 pip stop, right? So we're going for like either a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-1.5 or a 1-to-2, depending on the actual risk reward you're going for. Like the previous time was a 1-to-2, so if we stick with that, so that's part of the trading plan. So we'll go for a 100 stop, and now we're looking to go for a 200 take profit. Yeah, okay, so 200, which would be up here. Okay, so now we can see the trade is playing out on the 1 minute. And it's after hitting our target there. Okay, so that's after working out perfectly for our second trade opportunity there, yeah? Okay, so hit it here, okay? So that's the second trade. Okay, so that's the second trade now, okay? So let's go back to the 5 minute. Now at this point then we move these here, okay, because this trade is after getting hit, okay? And then, so you can see here, this is a higher high, and this is another higher high, and this is another higher high here, okay? And then this would be a lower high, higher high, lower high, and so on, yeah? Okay, so let's, what I'll do then is I'll draw that in to show you what I mean. Okay, so let's talk about that. So this was the actual, we broke this point here. So that was the very first one. And then this is our new higher high. This is our lower high. This here then is our higher high, our lower high, and then our higher high. Okay, so now at this stage, what we need to do is clarify the last lower high. So the last lower high is at this point here. At this point, okay? So this technically, when you analyze the actual market, this is quite possibly going to be change of direction, because you have the actual higher high and this is the actual lower high here, and price has broken it here, okay? So this is what you need to look out for in terms of actually market change, okay? So that's the first thing. The next thing then is that we look for a pullback, and then once we have price that beats this becomes a lower low, then that distinguishes the actual change in direction, okay? And then we look up for the setups then for that on the actual selling the market, okay? So that's the strategy, guys, okay? So you can see how powerful it is, and I hope you've got a lot of great value. So you can watch the video over several times and to get it, like, you know, because there is a little bit of stuff in it, but it's very, very powerful, okay? Okay, so we can see here this at this point here, this is the actual higher high, okay? And this being the actual lower high here. And once price breaks this actually lower high, this is the first indication of actually change of market direction, okay? So we got the pullback, but we didn't actually break this actually lower low here. So that basically indicates that we're still in the actual bull direction, so we're just actually going sideways here at the moment, yeah? So what we need to do then is, so we can still trade this actually sideways move once everything lines up, okay? So let's actually, if we bring this across here like so, okay? Now, and what we're going to do is just zoom in a little bit here, like so, and the next thing is, okay, so if price then actually finishes above here, we're looking at here now, we're just going to zoom in. So if this candle finishes above, so it's after finishing above now. So now we're in an opportunity now to, after finishing now, we have to go into the entry time frame, which is the 1 minute. And now what we need now is actually for the stochastics to come back down and then back up over the actual 50 before it's a valid entry on the actual 1 minute for the buy. Okay, so that's the next part. So we'll pause the video and see if we get this to line up. Okay, so we have the 1 minute now at the moment. It's over the actual 50 move, the stochastics here now, but we need the actual candle to finish over our 20 move on average on the 1 minute. Once that happens, then we can buy the actual market. So what you do here, you come over to this little arrow here and left click it. This is the trading panel. So we'll be clicking the actual buy on this. So with the smallest lot size you can buy is a 0.01. Okay, so that's a micro lot size. Okay, so once this candle finishes, and it finishes above this actual 20 moving average, we're going to buy the market. Okay, so it's finished there now, so we're going to buy the market, and now we're going to put a stop about down here, which is around 40 pips of a stop here. Okay, so let's put that to 40 pip stop, and now we're going to put in a 80 pip target. So that will be a 2-to-1 risk reward. Yeah, okay, so that's the trade set up there now, ready to go. Okay, so there's if you wanted to put in a actual sell limit, what you do is a sell limit basically is putting price up over where the price is at the moment, meaning that once it hits that point here, say, once price hits that, it will sell the market, right? So that's basically what that is. Okay, so let's just delete that. Okay, now, and if you wanted to actually put a buy limit, you would put buy down here. You're waiting for price to come down to buy this here, and then you would be in for a buy. That's what is a buy limit is. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so they're the different types of actual buying or selling the actual market with limits. Okay. Okay, so the other types of actually entering into the market is actually a buy stop, meaning that when price is down below here, if you wanted to buy the price above where actually price is, that's what a buy stop is, right? So that's where you would quite possibly you wanted to put it there for some reason, you would put it there or up here or maybe up here. You're waiting for price to hit a certain structural level. That's how you would do that. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And then if you wanted to do a sell stop, that would be the same. Your price is above and you're waiting for a price to come down here to sell the market, and you're looking for a continuation trade, something like that. Yeah, okay, so these are the different types of market trade setups that you can actually use. So if you wanted to put a bigger lot size on, you would click the arrow here. So this would be a micro, which is the smallest, and you would click it second time, and that would be a 0.02. But if you click it, say, up as far as 10, now from a mini lot, that will be a micro lot. And then if you if you click actually here, double click here and click 1.00, that would be a standard lot size. Okay, or else if you just double click in here and click 0.10, that would be your micro lot size. Okay, and your mini lot size then, which is the smallest, which would be 0.01. okay, which is the smallest, which we're after taking this 0.01 trade. And this here then is our terminal, so basically where the trade is on. So you can see the trade size and the symbol, which is the U30 USD being the Dow. And then you can see we're in profit here at the moment. So that's basically it. So we have the price that you took it at, we have the stop level, and the TP being the take profit level, and then the present price at the present. Yeah, okay, and commission then on that then as well. Okay, so as the trade progresses here, there's several ways then if you want to manage the trade. Yeah, so you can either have it as is, you know, with the stop and the take profit, or else you can bring the actual stop to break even with a few pips, say with say 4 pips like that, or else you can actually move the stop underneath the actual previous swing low here like that. So if it goes against you, then you're in profit. Yeah, okay. So for this example, I'm going to manage it like this. Okay, so great job. We got our 80 pips there, and that's our trade done and dusted. Okay, cool. Right, so the next thing here, we're going to go into back into the actual MT4 platform here, and we're going to go into actual the navigator, and we're going to go down here to expert advisor. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to go into our file, open data folder. So here's our data folder, okay? So here's our data folder here. So what we need to do is to go into the actual QML4 file, okay? So that's the file that we're going to transform or paste in the actual files, right? So what you do is if you're buying a EA, you normally be sent to your actual inbox, and then I paste it to my actual desktop here. So normally I'll just copy the 2 files. Normally you get 2 files with the actual EA or expert advisor. So you would copy them like that, and then you would open up the QML4 file, and then you will go into experts, and then you would paste them into here. Okay, so since it's already here, so you can see exactly what you need to do, how to paste your actual MT4 expert advisor to the MT4 platform, to the database or the data folder. Okay, so that's lesson 4. All right, so that's lesson 1 to lesson 4. Complete beginner forex with the bonuses thrown in with a great advance trend strategy, right? So have lots of fun with that, guys, and it's a really powerful strategy. I want you implement it right, and you can watch the video several times to make sure you understand the actual strategy, and you'll see how it filters out so many false kind of trades. So it filters out a lot of actually trades for you. So it's a great strategy. So don't forget, guys, to leave all your comments and try it out, the actual strategy, and let me know your comments as you progress on it. I'd love to hear your feedback, and don't forget to give the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.